Good Sunday morning, everyone. It's another Sunday School with Lon. We're finishing up reading Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. We're at the very back of the book where we're just starting to itemize the divinatory meanings of the 22 trumps of the major arcana, or the 22 atus, as Crowley calls them, of the major arcana. As I mentioned in the introductory words to this section yesterday, this is all Crowley stuff. Very little Lon is stuck into this. I didn't want to get out of Crowley's way for this part of the book. Today I'm going to briefly read what Crowley had to say about each of the 22 trumps as far as their divinatory meaning goes. And I thought it would be fun because I'm thinking about doing a sort of New Year's end sort of a little video divination for the coming year. If I dare. But I've got a little homemade tarot spread that I sometimes do for myself in December, getting ready for New Year's Eve, using only the tarot trumps. And before I read this, I'd like to describe what I do, and maybe you'd like to do this for yourself also. And if nothing more, use the divinatory meanings that I'm going to read to us this morning as your answer. So here's what I do. I shuffle an entire tarot deck. First of all, I start off by doing the little opening that Crowley said, where I hold the wand over the deck. I hold the deck in my left hand and hold the wand over it, and I go, I invoke the Iao, that thou wilt send Hru, the great angel that is set over the operations of the secret wisdom, to lay his hands invisibly upon these consecrated cards of art, that thereby I may obtain true knowledge of hidden things to the glory of thine ineffable name. Amen. And then I shuffle the shit out of those cards. And when I have a sense that I've shuffled enough, I stop. And I turn the deck over in my hands like this, and I go thumb through the deck until I find a trump. And then I lay the trump face down. And I keep thumbing through the deck until I find another trump. And then I put it face down on top of that one until I get all 22 trumps. And they're in that bizarre, strange little order that they were when I laid them down. Okay? So there is my shuffled trumps. Then I lay the first 10 down in a tree of life. Just one right on top of one after the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the tree of life. Then the final 12 cards, I start at the very top and I lay them out in a counterclockwise circle. And each of those 12 cards represents a month. So the first card of that 12 I pick will be January. Then February, March, April, all the way around the year. Then I write all of that down. Okay, I make a little chart. Okay, because I'm going to look at that chart for the entire year to see how it goes. Okay, The tree of life is sort of my own. Uh, there is no set interpretation that I can give you for doing this. It's your own knowledge of what goes on in your life and the world around you during that time period. And that tree of life is sort of like a snapshot of your uh, of the assets and liabilities that you're starting off with for the year. So I thought that'd be kind of a helpful little thing if you think that sounds like something you would like to do. So if that was the case, this section of the book gives you what Crowley has to say about each of those 22 cards. But today we're going to just start with the Fool. In spiritual matters, the Fool means idea, thought, spirituality, that which endeavors to transcend earth. In material matters, it may, if badly dignified, mean folly, eccentricity, or even mania. But the essential of this card is that it represents an original, subtle, sudden impulse or impact coming from a completely strange quarter. All such impulses are right if rightly received. And the good or ill interpretation of the card depends entirely on the right attitude of the querent. There's much wisdom in Crowley's comments on these cards. Isn't that's something to remember in life in general? All impulses are right if rightly received, and the good or ill interpretation of the card depends entirely on the right attitude of the querent. The Magus, or the magician. Skill, wisdom, adroitness, elasticity, craft, cunning, deceit, theft, sometimes occult wisdom or power, sometimes a quick impulse, a brain wave. It may imply messages, business transactions, the interference of learning or intelligence with the matter at hand. The High Priestess. Pure, exalted, and gracious influence enters the matter. Hence change, alternation, increase and decrease, fluctuation. There is, however, a liability to be led away by enthusiasm. One may become moonstruck unless careful balance is maintained. The Empress. Love, beauty, happiness, pleasure, success, completion, good fortune, graciousness, elegance, luxury, idleness, dissipation, debauchery, friendship, gentleness, delight. Boy, you can go all sorts of ways with the Empress, as we say. The Emperor. War, conquest, victory, strife, ambition, originality, overweening confidence, and megalomania, quarrelsomeness, energy, vigor, stubbornness, impracticability, rashness, and ill temper. Wow, who could that describe? The Hierophant. Stubborn strength, toil, endurance, placidity, manifestation, explanation, teaching, goodness of heart, help from superiors, patience, organization, peace. I don't know how many times that this aspect of the Hierophant, help from superiors, appears in reading, especially when the querent is asking about matters of at work matters, things like that. You know, when the Hierophant pops up, you're not going to ask, you know, gee, is there a pope at your work that can help you? But anyway, okay, enough of Lon. The lovers. Openness to inspiration, intuition, intelligence, second sight, childishness, frivolity, thoughtlessness divorced from practical consideration, indecision, self-contradiction, triviality, the lowbrow. The Chariot. Triumph, victory, hope, memory, digestion. Isn't that funny? Because it's the Chariot is Cancer, the digestive faculties. Violence in maintaining traditional ideas. Wow. The diehard, ruthlessness, lust of destruction, obedience, faithfulness, authority under authority, adjustment, justice, or rather justice, which is Constance's magical name or her ecclesiastical name, Soror Justice. The act of adjustment, suspension of all action, pending decision. In material matters, it may refer to lawsuits or prosecutions. Socially, marriage or marriage agreements. Politically, it's treaties. The Hermit. Illumination from within. Secret impulse from within. Practical plans derived accordingly. Retirement from participation in current events. Fortune. Change of fortune. This generally means good fortune because of the fact that the consultation implies anxiety and discontent. So when the Wheel of Fortune pops up, it's the luck card. But more times than not, it's good luck. Whatever it is, it'll soon change. That's a Lonism, sorry. Lust, or the old Strength card. Courage, strength, energy, action, on grand passion. Resort to magic, the use of magical power. The Hanged Man, enforced sacrifice, punishment, loss, fatal or voluntary suffering, defeat, failure, death. Crowley seems to treat the Hanged Man with more scary things than the Death card. Here's the Death. Transformation, change, voluntary or involuntary. In either case, logical development of existing conditions, yet perhaps sudden and unexpected. So there's a change, either voluntary or involuntary. Apparent death or destruction, but such interpretation is illusion. There was a wonderful movie, I think it was called Lucy, where the character accidentally gets injected with a drug that makes her so smart, and she gets smarter and smarter and smarter until she becomes omniscient. It's a wonderful movie, just a couple years old. and she's driving toward the end when she's just has godlike intelligence. She hijacks a car with somebody in it, and he says, "You got to be careful. You're going to kill somebody." And she goes, "Nobody dies." Okay, sorry, I digress. Art. Combination of forces, realization, actions based on accurate calculations. The way of escape. Success after elaborate maneuvers. Wow. Let's see. I'm going to